The governor's signature is all that's needed now to make possession of fentanyl a felony in Colorado. Not dealing fentanyl, that's already a felony. Just having it in trace amounts, even if somebody doesn't know that the pill or the powder that they have contains fentanyl. A last-minute compromise in the legislature allows people charged with this felony to try and get it reduced to a misdemeanor at trial. But the Democratic Speaker of the House, the bill's sponsor, admitted to our Anusha Roy today, most people who will be charged with a felony for fentanyl possession won't ever get to a trial.
A majority of the discussion was focused on one point.
Having any more than 1 gram of fentanyl is a felony.
Democratic Representative Alec Garnett, a bill sponsor, says the legislation is focusing on drug dealers' education and resources to get fentanyl off the streets, as well as criminal charges for people buying drugs laced with fentanyl, which happens all the time. Garnett says there are protections in place for them.
So this is just trying to take into consideration the rare circumstance where if somebody didn't know that fentanyl was in their substance, that they have an opportunity in court to present evidence.
Rare is the key word here, because while Garnett says a person can try to go to trial, he also says
most low-level drug possession cases do not make it all the way to court. The DA is going to, plead down to something. They're going to work on going to diversion. They're going to work with the defendant. Very rarely are you actually making it all the way to trial. The prosecutor always has the discretion to work with you.
I do think that Speaker Garnett is probably accurate in that very many folks won't go to trial.
While Denise Mays with Servicio Sigue agrees on that one point, it's also one of the points that concerns her.
I think they will be arrested and charged. It's a big net, and it's going to sweep up a lot of folks.
She says this part of the bill is opposite to a lot of testimony.
The overwhelming data, the overwhelming testimony said do not felonize. Do harm reduction alone. You are putting an extra burden on addicts. How is that going to work? That is clearly the war on drugs, take two.
But Garnett was adamant that that is not what this is, that they are not trying to stop recreational drug use or punish people for addiction.
This is not a return to the drug wars of the past. This is just a recognition of the deadliness of fentanyl.
So we've long heard from law enforcement and experts that a small amount of fentanyl can kill a person. A lot of our law enforcement agencies, they have field tests right now that can tell if a substance has fentanyl or not. Those results actually come back in around 5 minutes. CBI can test it as well. There are also DEA labs that are used here in Colorado. But at the end of the day, in Colorado, you can't actually tell the amount of fentanyl that's in a substance is just yes or no if it's there.
So normally that would be concerning, if we can't differentiate. But I guess at this point, practically speaking, if they're going to charge people with a felony and lock them up for a trace, then the testing being imprecise is not that big of a deal.
Yeah, that percentage is not playing as big of a role as you might think it is. So Representative Garnett was saying, if you've got, let's say, more than 1 gram of cocaine and it tests positive for fentanyl, that's automatically going to be opening up the door to these new charges. It's just about if it is there or not the actual percentage of it.
Given the threat it poses to the community, you'd like to see the testing come along so that we've got a better idea of just how much of this deadly fentanyl is in other drugs,
Which is something that CBI is working on, but there's no timeline on that yet.
Anusha, thank you.